Turn the mics on. All right, just 9:30 a.m. Monday morning, the 11th of March. We'll bring this regular meeting of Somervell County Commissioners Court to order. Let the record show Larry Halsey, Dwayne Johnson, Danny Chambers, Kenneth Wood, and Wade Bush are all present. Would you please join us in the pledges?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
Y'all may be seated if you'd like. Larry, would you say a prayer for the court, please?
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day you give us. Father, we thank you for the freedom you give us in this nation. Thank you for blessing the county. Father, we pray for wisdom here on this court. We make the right decisions. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Larry. All right, item number 3, approve the minutes of the previous Commissioners Court.
I have 4 of them. February 11th, 14th, 19th, and 27th. I'll make a motion.
I have a motion by Larry to approve the previous minutes.
Second.
I have a second. Do we have any further questions or discussion? All in favor of said motion? That's 5 for, 0 against. Let me see if I can pull this up here right quick. All right. Item number 4, discuss take action on accepting donation of artwork that will hang in the Somervell County Annex. This is the one David Carter's been working on for a couple of years. It's different businesses, individuals. I don't know who all wants to see or pass that up and down. There will be some additions to that. That's the basic gist. What it'll be is these people have actually paid for all the material, paid for the labor. There'll be a plaque saying, who it represents, who donated their money, time, and all we have to do is accept the donation, and we'll hang them throughout the annex. Many different individuals, businesses. Just one off the top of your head, like Paul Grilling. He wanted to do a little bit of history. So, BRC's is not on here, and First Financial Bank's not on here. I think First Financial Bank had 2 that they had purchased. Anything I can answer or try to answer? Do I have a motion to accept the donation of the artwork?
Not going to cost county anything?
Not a dime.
I'll make a motion.
Not a dime. I have a motion by Larry to accept the donation.
Second.
I have a second by Kenneth. Any further questions or discussion? All in favor of said motion? That's 5 for, 0 against. Item number 5, discuss take action on CAC Representative Gene Cate request to display blue ribbons and place 2 large wooden blue ribbons on the courthouse grounds along with flags for Child Abuse Prevention Month, April 1st through April 30th.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm doing exceptionally well.
And I hear that congratulations are in order on, what is it, Bean Queen of Queen of Hood County? Congratulations.
Thank you so much. The only requirement is a sense of humor.
There you do.
That I've got.
We do have that over here. Did you need
Thank
this
you.
proclamation by any chance, Gene, or do you have a copy?
No, I do not have a copy, Your Honor.
All right. When you get to that point, would you like me to read it in, or would you?
Yes, if you would, please.
Okay, I will. Thank you, Pat. I appreciate it.
On behalf of the Children's at Paluxy River Children's Advocacy Center and Casa of Hood Somerville, we are requesting permission to, as in the past, tie blue ribbons around the square, to place 2 large wooden blue ribbons and the Casa flags in to call awareness to Child Abuse Awareness Month. And as you all know from the number of children you have here in Somerville that are in the system, we need to make people more aware. And we appreciate your taking this under consideration.
And it's the same as we've done for several years in a row, right? Gene?
Pardon me?
I said it's the same as we've done many years in a row.
Yes, many years.
All right, well, let me, if you want, I'll read this proclamation. Whereas children are the embodiment of dreams and aspirations for the future, and as such deserve to grow and develop in nurturing environments, free from fear and victimization, and whereas child abuse and neglect can be reduced by making sure each member has the support family it needs in raising their children in a safe, nurturing environment with resources necessary, whereas our society has a responsibility to protect our children and help them strive in a safe environment, as every child is entitled to be loved, cared for, feel secure, and be free from verbal, sexual, emotional, and physical abuse and neglect. And whereas throughout the community there are dedicated individuals and organizations such as Mission Granbury, CASA of Hood and Somervell County, Biloxi River Children's Center, Sheriff's Department, the Police Department, who work daily to counter the problem of child maltreatment and help parents obtain the assistance they need. And whereas effective child abuse prevention programs succeed because of partnerships among families, social service associates, agencies, schools, religious and civic organizations, law enforcement agencies, and the business community. Now therefore I do hereby proclaim the month of April 2019 as Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month. So, in light of all that, do I have a motion for this proclamation and to allow them to use the courthouse?
I make that motion.
I have a motion by Kenneth.
Second.
I have a second by Dwayne. Do we have any further questions or discussion for Ms. Kate? All in favor of said motion? That's 5 for, 0 against.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Thank you,
Gentlemen.
ma'am. We appreciate all your help. All right. Item number 6. Discuss, take action on granting a sanitary control easement for the city of Glenrose, well number 4, on county-owned property in the vicinity of Bryan and 6th Street. Michael, would you make sure that your microphone's turned on?
Test.
There you go. This particular one we discussed with the court, I believe, was back in October to allow you to move forward with the documents and survey and things like that.
Yes, sir.
I'll give it to you, Michael.
Judge Chambers, members of the court, thank you for the opportunity to come and petition you. So as the judge mentioned, we came earlier requesting the sanitary control easement, and we're asked to return with the documentation, the survey, and the physical description, which you have in your packet, I believe. So a couple of you weren't here on the court at that time, and the well had some downhole problems, and our engineers looked at it and determined that there was no way to get the volume of water that we once had out of the current well, and that we needed to move over and re-drill. And whenever we already had sanitary control easements for the existing well, but when we moved over a few feet to re-drill, the boundaries didn't match, and TCEQ is real particular about that. The sanitary control easements limit what property owners can do within a 150-foot radius of where the well is drilled, just to prevent contamination of the drinking water. And so, like, you can't have a feedlot in that area or some other activities. Otherwise, you can build on the property and continue to use it. It's just that there's some restrictions. And so we're asking if you would please grant us that sanitary control easement.
Do I have a motion to grant the city the control easement for water well number 4 in Wolf City?
So moved.
I have a motion by Wade. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Dwayne. Any further questions or discussion for Michael? All in favor of said motion? That's 5 for, 0 against. Item number 7, discuss, take action on a sewer main from the east end of Tres Rios RV Park, east along the south side of County Road 312 for about 200 feet, then across to the north side of County Road 312.
So another easement. Thank you for the last one. This one is to put in a lift station. The city's been trying to get sewer service out in that part of the county where the city has done some annexing for the last 10 years and hasn't been able to make much progress on that. But now we have an annexation agreement with Tres Rios. They're going to donate some land for the city to put in a lift station, and they're going to annex into the city and become one of our customers. The lift station will service them, but it will also service a much larger area, the whole basin there on the east side of the city. And also the lift station will serve Longhorn Drive, where it starts coming back down the hill. So there's some property up in there right now that we can't get sewer service to because it can't gravity flow from there over to the sewer plant. All that sewer waste will flow into this lift station at Tres Rios and then would be pumped back up into the city's new sewer plant. So we're looking at getting easements along Highway 67 from those property owners and from the Dodsons across their property. And we need a little bit of an easement along County Road 312. We need to cross the road and then run along the south side of the road to Tres Rios. And the reason we want to run on that side of the road is that we're anticipating that several of the houses further to the east would like to get sewer service in the future. And so we'll have a manhole there in the right of way, and we can extend the service further to the east should the need arise.
What's the plan as far as construction goes? Are you going to ask to cut the road, or are you going to bore under the county road? It looks like you have to go across 312, being that there's county water on the north side of that road.
Right. I would think that boring would be the preferred method,
Right.
And so I can relay that information to our engineers.
I guess you're aware that the county water is on the other side of the road?
Yes.
So you come out and you turn to go toward Squaw Creek, and then you go underneath and turn to come back.
Is there any kind of stipulation on crossing that water, how far you got to be away from that, or?
There are certain differences. If they're running parallel, I believe they're supposed to be 9 foot apart. And it also depends upon how much depth difference there is between the two. If the water's up higher and the sewer is several feet underneath, then you can get them closer together. We do have an engineer that will be designing the project, and it'll all be reviewed by the proper authorities.
So this green portion that you got highlighted, that's the new portion, right? That we're looking at an annex? Easement?
You can swap that out. You got a better picture than I have there, Mike.
Yes, well, the green portion is on 312 is what we're looking for to the county for an easement.
All right.
Well, do I have a motion
I would make the motion to approve this easement on County Road 312 and Tres Rios, 200 foot on the county road and then crossing the County Road 312.
I have a motion by Wade. Second. I have a second by Kenneth. Any further questions or discussion for Michael? All in favor of said motion? That's 5 for, 0 against. And on the next one, I didn't actually put take action. I just put discuss granting a 20-foot wide utility easement to the city of Glen Rose for the purpose of installing a water main along the south fence line of Squaw Creek Golf Course parallel to Highway 67. That's the one in pink, because I figure this is going to be a lot of discussion between the court, you, your council, so on and so forth. So go ahead if you want, Michael, make a presentation and see what kind of questions we have.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for the other easement. And here remember, I'm the messenger. So
Yeah, that's right. I forgot to say don't shoot the messenger. I apologize. Yeah.
this, in some ways, relates to the sewer. The city is trying to fulfill its obligations from 10 years ago to provide utilities to that area. As you know, your golf course was annexed, and there's a 102-acre tract to the east that also is annexed. They've had trouble selling that property because there's not water service to it, And my understanding is the water district can't provide service since it's been annexed into the city. And so they were talking about disannexing the property. I brought the matter before the city council, and they didn't want to see that property leave the city limits, and so they began discussing the possibility of getting water service to the property. But it's kind of a dilemma because it's going to cost, we guess, somewhere around $600,000 or $700,000 to get water service out to that property. And at this point, we don't have any commitment of development. And so you hate to build a bridge that goes to nowhere or a water line that isn't going to be used. But on the other hand, the property owner can't sell the property because they don't have water service. So we're struggling with that. There's a Texas Capital Fund grant that is available if we could find a commercial property that would develop there on the highway. And then through that grant, we could get some funding for the water line, which would make it easier for everybody because then we wouldn't be taking risks. In any event, whenever this was presented to the city council, they weren't sure what they could actually commit to, but they were interested in pursuing options, and so they asked me to come to you and ask about an easement through your golf course. That's what our engineer had recommended. As we've gotten into it, I realized that there are some troubles. There towards the east half, you have trees and golf cart path near the fence line. And so I'd heard some feedback that wasn't going to be very feasible. My public works director and I went out there and looked at it, and we agree that at least in that portion of the golf course, it really doesn't make sense to run the line through the golf course because we don't want to destroy the trees or the path, particularly the trees, because it would take years and years to replace them. And as I mentioned to somebody out at Oakdale Park, I've planted about 100 trees in the last 2 years, and so I'm a friend of trees. I don't like to tear them up and destroy them. But as we were looking at it, it seemed like it might be possible to run the water line through the other part of the golf course to the west. And that would be helpful in that we could set up and bore under Squaw Creek without having to get on TxDOT property, and so the process would be a lot easier. Also, the right-of-way is very narrow near the entrance to the golf course because you have some paved lanes where you turn in and come onto the highway. And so there's not a lot of room to work. The pricing estimate that we had provided for boring under Squaw Creek and also boring under the entrance. And it looks to me like that we could set up back entrance trees and bore under that entrance without destroying the trees or disrupting your pavement. And so, if what we would like to do is come in to your property there on the west and run under Squaw Creek, run under your entrance, and then before we get to the
Then he can be moved.
golf cart path and trees, we would divert and get onto the highway right away.
What's on the picture, what you're talking about?
Let's see.
We have to slide that back some.
Slide it.
144's on the other end.
Here's the area that we think is a problem with the trees and the path. So we'd like to come in. We will have to secure an easement from this property owner as well, but we'd like to come across here, bore under the creek, come down, bore under your entrance, come down, and then before we hit the trees and the path, divert over into the right-of-way, because the right-of-way gets wider down in this area, more room to work in. And then come on down the highway to the 102 acres.
Michael, why not just drop on the south side of 67 there in the county easement, the water district's easement, and go all the way down and then bore back over?
Well, we could do that. It would require two
Item number
highway, which I'm not exactly sure of the expense, but I know it would
Well, according to the water district, it costs around $22,000 for 6-inch and $30 for a 10-inch.
$30,000, so we'd be looking at $60,000 in expenses there. So, and also we were wanting, the service on your side of the road. If the golf course, if you'd like to get water and
Well, excuse me. If you're going to have sewer on Dotson's, why wouldn't you want water over there? If you're putting sewer on 312, why wouldn't you want water over there?
The water district service those houses along 312 right now, and they have lines. And it's possible in the future that the city would buy that infrastructure from the water district. Those are conversations that haven't been had yet, but it just seemed like for what we wanted to do with this water line was to get the service out to the 102 acres, which is on the north side of the highway, and avoid the cost of boring under the highway twice. It would be better to move along that north side, but certainly we could go into the TxDOT right away all the way. It's just there's not a lot of room to work, and we have to deal with their regulations. So
I'm only speaking for me, but I'd be more interested in dropping on the south side of 67 there. And if, like I say, I'm speaking for me only, but look at the option of us, chipping in, helping pay in for boring across to get you across there, rather than get into the golf course at all.
We got to leave the rest.
And like we're in the discussion stages, so whatever y'all's feelings are, I will take it back to the city council, and we have a long way to go on this project.
But at least it's out in the open. Everybody can be talking about it and discussion. And you're probably going to be getting prices on both sides, I would imagine, whatever you do. If y'all move forward, would you like to plan it in your coming year's budget, 19 and 20, if you were trying to move forward with it?
Yes, well, hopefully that we can get some commitments and get a plan.
All right.
I would just say this is the second step. The first one was bringing it to the attention of the city council, and then they had asked me to come over and talk to y'all. And this was our engineer's recommendation, but certainly it's not set in stone. And I do appreciate y'all giving it consideration this morning, and look forward to working with y'all as we come up with a plan.
Well, I'm really willing to work with the city, but I think our golf course is very important that we try to avoid it at all costs.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think anything that we do on there is going to be disturbing the course. So I don't agree that it should go down to the course. And you need to look into what TxDOT's plan is, because they keep telling us they're going to widen that road in there, so they may not have as much easement. They're supposed to start any time from the county line to Cleveland on that, but one of their perspectives, and maybe 10 years down the road, is to widen all the way to that spot. But you may not have as much highway easement there when they do that.
And like Dwayne said, we could help you, but we'd have to have something in return, or Canada's development or something.
I understand there would be some negotiating. I'm certainly not in a position to do that.
Right. And, as we move forward, you can talk to like myself and one commissioner or two commissioners at any time to try to get things ironed out a little bit, and then we bring it to the whole court. But you can, as you see how it's developing with your council and how things are going, and your other property owners is going to be involved right there on 144 and 67.
Right. And I really need to be having some discussions with the water district. And I believe that this is going to be very slow unless we find a convenience store or truck stop or somebody that wants to go out there on the highway frontage so we can get that Texas Capital Fund grant. That grant money will make all the difference on this project.
Right. All right.
Well, thank y'all very much.
You bet.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it. Item number 9, discuss take action on 2019 San Jacinto Day fireworks resolution. Thank you, sir. This allows firework vendors to sell, bear with me, from April 16th, 2019 to midnight of April 21st, 2019, unless for some reason there becomes drought conditions where we have to issue a burn ban. So,
I make a motion we allow the fireworks to be sold for San Jacinto Day.
I have a motion by Kenneth. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is that Larry? I have a second by Larry. Any further questions or discussion? All in favor of said motion? That's 5 for, 0 against. Item number 10, discuss take action on amending subdivision rules, Article 4, items 5 through 7. Larry, you want to present this, or I've got it here. I don't mind.
Oh, okay.
I just got to find it.
It's,
There you go. Thank you.
okay, it's changing,
You read it again?
Article 4. We changed up, reversed 5 and 6 and added option 7.
And option 7 says subdivision roads shall be chip sealed by the county if minimum square footage of every single family dwelling shall be the site built on a slab foundation, contain at least 1,600 square feet of living area, excluding porches, garages, and storage areas. Somervell County has up to 2 years discretionary period for paving roads after a road has been approved.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion by Larry to amend the subdivision rules, Article 4, item 5 through 7. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Kenneth. Any further questions or discussion?
This is strictly just an option if they meet these minimum requirements.
Yes, this needs to be in the deed restrictions.
Mr. Lucas looks good with that. All right. Any further questions or discussion? All in favor of said motion? That's 5 for, 0 against. Thank you. All right. Item number 11, discuss take action on preliminary replat of Lot 7 in the Bentley Freeze Edition. That's this one here. I believe that's your presentation, Dwayne.
Yeah, Taylor's had bought this old subdivision. They bought, I believe it's a 3.9 acres out of it. They split it up, and I don't see anything wrong with it. Yes, sir.
Anybody need to look at this? Or have you looked at it? Okay, looked at it. All right. Well, then do I have a motion to accept this replat?
I'll make the motion to accept the replat.
I have a motion by Dwayne. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Wade. Any further questions or discussion? All in favor of said motion? That's 5 for, 0 against. Item number 12, discuss take action on a preliminary plat for Forest Hills Addition. I believe that's you, Kenneth, is that correct?
Mr. Rogers, go ahead and take the mic up there. This is he's presenting phase 1 of the Forest Hills edition.
You won't put this?
Yeah, you bet. That's fine. It's however you want to do it, sir.
I just
I think
want everybody to enjoy it.
We've all got here
Got one? Okay.
Here you go. This is the same one in Kenneth.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Here you go, Brian. That might be a little easier for you.
My name is Morris Rogers, and I'm the developer. And this project's on State Highway 144 and County Road 302.
we'll be working with the county water district. They're going to be extending a 10-inch water line to our property. From there, they will put in a 6-inch line and service all the lots. I guess that's pretty self-explanatory if y'all have any questions.
I have a question along 144. That's accessing State Highway 144 4 or 5 times. Have you got
5.
Have you got approval for?
TxDOT's already been out and inspected it, verbally approved it. Survey has to stake it. The state will check the dimensions and issue me a permit before I come see you.
For the final.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions?
The other question is, the road coming in on Farrell 2, is that, it's a pretty hilly area right there. Is that the intersection? Is that going to be on top of the hill where you can see from both directions, or where is that placed?
Where your access road.
The new proposed entry road,
Yeah.
it's clear sighted both ways.
You got visual from both directions, right?
Yes, sir.
TxDOT needs turning lanes that are bad. That whole area.
Yeah, it's this danger. That was the reason for the question.
Yeah, we're exceeding the state requirements for the distance between entryways. They request 425 feet, and we have at least 450 feet
Between
we see
driveways.
between each entryway, and they're limiting us to a 25-foot drive. So that's something. These are residential, and so we'll be complying with TxDOT.
Any further questions? Do I have a motion to accept the preliminary?
I make a motion to accept the preliminary on Forest Hills Edition.
I have a motion by Kenneth. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Dwayne. Any further question or discussion? All in favor said motion. That's 5 for, 0 against. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers.
Thanks, Brian.
You will go ahead and stop at the clerk's office, Mr. Rogers. You will go ahead and stop at the clerk's office and get that checklist that you're going to have to complete.
Clerk's office.
Yeah, on the left, just before you got out the door.
All right, discuss, take action on setting the new speed limit on County Road 2017. All right.
I had a call out there on 2017, which is a short road. It's maybe a mile long, something like that. Creek draw. There's people blowing, speeding up, down, or not speeding, going excessive speed up and down 2017. There's kids out there playing, and so I made the request to lower that speed limit to 30 miles an hour with the children at play sign.
I think Andy was involved helping you draw it up, present it to the court. Well, do I have a motion to proceed with the speed limit change?
I make the motion. We proceed with the speed limit change on County Road 2017.
I have a motion by Dwayne. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Wade. Any further questions or discussion? All in favor of said motion? That's 5 for, 0 against. If you want to pass it down there and have everybody sign it, we'll send it back this direction. All right. Item number 14, discuss, take action on the use of county facilities. This is sort of a different situation. Andy and I was involved with the conference call with, trying to remember the lady's name, Carrie over at runs the flower shop. Anyhow, for the senior prom.
Quinlan.
Quinlan, thank you. Used to, the expo, they allowed them to use 5 days down there to prepare, clean up, and then afterwards, well, we've squeezed Frank pretty hard to rent those days out, and now we squeezed those down to 2 days. So they requested or asked for one time only, where the CVB used to be in the old jail on Highway 67. If they could put 6 tables in there, they would have a meeting, I believe she told me, the 11th of March, if they would get this approved today, and then one of them in March and one of them in April. I think you were in there too, Kim, weren't you? Is that correct, Andy? I think
Sounds about right.
they'd be in there 3 different times, and then they would take everything over to the Expo Center on the 6th of April. And I told her that the reason this could only be a one-time use, especially because, we're looking at remodeling that building, we're looking at expanding that building, but I would bring it to y'all, I would ask, we'd go forward from there.
They're just using it to prepare for
The
getting there
centerpieces and all that.
for the prom. Oh, okay.
Yeah, centerpieces and some things that hang from the ceiling and some things, I forget what all. I had it all messed up.
Yeah, it's just a decoration preparing for prom.
What they used to do inside the little banquet area,
Mm-hmm.
but we've actually moved them out there just to 2 days.
I'll make the motion.
I have a motion by Larry to allow high school mothers and Carrie Quinlan to use CVB area, the old CVB area in the old jail. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Dwayne. Any further questions or discussion that I can try to answer?
You need to make sure like the air conditioners and stuff aren't just running between those meeting dates. And stuff.
Right. Turned off and on. We don't throttle way back right now. Any further discussion? Questions?
Is there anything down there that furniture,
They're going to bring their own tables.
Storage-wise.
It's wide open. They're going to have to bring their 6 tables in, set them up, and then they'll have to remove them when they leave. All in favor said motion. That's 5 for, 0 against. I'll call her later today. All right. Item number 15, discuss take action to rescind maintenance tech 1 job description. That's where I made a mistake when we come out executive session that day, thinking we still had the maintenance tech 1 position, and we don't. So I need to make a motion to rescind going out for maintenance 1 tech position.
I'll make the motion.
I have a motion by Larry. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Kenneth. All in favor to rescind the maintenance tech 1 job description. That's 5 for, 0 against. All right, item number 16, discuss approve maintenance supervisor position, grade 13, and associated job description goes with it. This is what we discussed in length the other day on the maintenance department, where we're trying to go with the maintenance department. We have 4 different descriptions here today. So, do I have a motion to approve the maintenance supervisor position?
make a motion.
I have a motion by Dwayne. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Larry. Any further questions or discussion?
We're just approving the job, right?
Job description.
Job
Yes, the
description.
job
Okay.
description and the grade 13.
Associated.
Yes. All in favor of said motion? That's 5 for, 0 against. Item number 17, discuss approve the maintenance foreman position, which will be a grade 11, and the associated job description.
Make a motion.
I have a motion by Dwayne. Do I have a second?
Yes.
I have a second by Larry. I see HR raising her hand. Or
No, I was.
Oh.
He's beating back here.
he just being sorry. Okay. Any further questions or discussion? All in favor said motion. That's 5 for, 0 against. Item number 18, discuss approved maintenance crew supervisor position, which is a grade 10, and associated job description. Do I have a motion?
Yes.
I have a motion by Larry. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Wade.
I think it needs to be more than 10. because right now we're gonna have somebody in charge of everything. We may go to a foreman in the future, may not, may have a supervisor in the future, may not. This person right now is gonna have lots of responsibilities. I think it needs to be more than 10.
Well, if you go more than 2
Your property there,
system and created a problem that's going to bite us for years.
No, the guy will deserve being at least 11.
Then when he earns it, then he can be moved into 11.
No.
You don't give it before he earns it.
I just disagree. That's all I got to say.
Well, let me throw this in there. We're gonna. It's not the guy or the person. It's a position. This position we're going to fill quick may not fall under that. It may fall under the other one. You know, I think your argument's the next time.
Okay.
Where you place it.
security.
On one of the other job descriptions.
We're just trying to get a
Setting it up where you
position
have the
right now.
position there.
Yes, sir.
Supervisor, foreman, crew supervisor, and then a tech.
Yes.
Okay? Well, any
I'm not
further-
disagreeing with you, Kenneth, but I think that the argument's next time.
when the pay comes to whoever actually fulfills
It's
that position. Okay. Well, I have a motion and I have a second. Any further questions or discussion? All in favor said motion. That is 4 for. How many against?
Abstain.
Kenneth's going to abstain. All right.
I'm not.
Item number 19. Discuss take action on the maintenance technician position, grade 7, and associated job description. Do I have a motion to accept the maintenance technician position?
Yes.
I have a motion by Larry. Do I have a second? I have a second by Dwayne. Any further question or discussion? All in favor of said motion? That's 5 for, 0 against. Item number 20, discuss take action on creating an Explorer post at the Somervell County Sheriff's Office. Reason being, we had a presentation last time. I just didn't have it on there to where we could take action on it. He's here today if we have any questions for him. So do we have a motion to create the Explorer post at the Somervell County Sheriff's Office?
So moved.
I have a motion by Wade. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Larry. Any further questions or discussion? All in favor said motion. That's 5 for, 0 against. Item number 21, discuss take action on demo of bell tower and canopy at golf course. I believe Don is here if we have any questions. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it. If we want to go over the bid for the...
I'll throw this out. After discussing it, we may want to tear it down ourselves because we're talking about the carport.
And like we're in the discussion.
We got to leave the restrooms. That's the bell tower. And I'll throw that out there.
Would we use our folks to do the canopy and the bell tower? That's what you're saying?
Well, we can't. We're not going to tear the bell tower down at this
Till the
time.
restrooms are complete.
Yes, but the carport.
Okay. If we come back and do the bell tower later, would you like get another bid on
We'd
that
have to
particular part?
think about that because it's got electric and everything in
Okay.
it. It's more detailed than the carport.
Right. Right. Well, I guess that's what you gentlemen decide. If you want us to move forward with the canopy, and then ask Don and them to look at getting another bid for the bell tower, or receiving bids for the bell tower.
We've got more work for them to do anyway.
Well, what's y'all's thoughts?
Well, we discussed it with the maintenance department, and well, I've discussed it with the maintenance department. I put it that way, and he feels sure he can take it down safely. Which we're talking about just the carport, not the bell tower,
Okay.
and remove it. Yes.
Okay. So do we wish to move forward with just the canopy at this time, and our folks will do that, and we'll do the bell tower at a later date? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, as far as line item, we don't have to do anything.
Okay. And we're not awarding anything, so I guess we will not take any action on 21, and we'll take care of that. And we'll get back with you on the bell tower later, Don. Thank you. All right. Now for the long discussion. Item number 22. Discuss, take action on approving, which I worded that all wrong. Really receive, discuss, take action, fight, argue, pavilion remodel at golf course. And I think Dwayne's got some stuff he'd like to talk about. I think Larry's got some stuff he'd like to talk about.
I mean, we got with Don and them and went over to the pavilion, looked it over, see what we could get accomplished by making, moving the kitchen and the kitchen area over there, where we could have more like a grill and a place for people to, I'm not going to say a clubhouse, but where they could go and sit around and, get something to eat, drink, or whatever. Adding another 10 foot on the other side of slab and a covered area out there for people to sit. We can split that pavilion in half. Got a bid, not a bid, but an estimate back to completely enclose that and AC it of $235,000. That would tie in with the bathrooms that we already had that we're working on. There's a lot of stuff in here. We can take it out. The actual bid part was $187,000. The rest was Don and them's percentage plus bonding the job. Just pulling out some of the fluff, stained concrete, stuff like that. I had it down to about $164,000. So there's a lot of numbers we can work with. What I'm looking at today is wanting to move forward with this estimate and send it out for bid to see what we can get this done for.
Allow Don just to give him the right to go out for bid, receive bids, and then see where you're at. And then Larry's got another.
We can't discuss this because it's not on here.
Yeah, we didn't get it.
But we can discuss the pavilion like he's talking about. I think it's a little premature on getting further bidding until you want to close in the whole pavilion now, heating and air. You got to staff it. It doesn't include the kitchen as far as appliances and everything. So got a lot more work to do, I think, price-wise.
The staffing part, it's like I told Duff and them, we can grow into that. We can take what we got now.
We need to.
The kitchen part, the appliances and stuff that is going to take to run that kitchen, having that kitchen, it's not an excessive amount of expense. We need a vent hood, a grill, fryer. You're going to need a refrigerator, freezer. It's just not that big of an expense.
Still need to see what it is.
But
You got to have figures.
It's two different things.
Got to have
How's it
figures.
two different things?
That's going to
One
depend
is
on what you do.
The pavilion enclosed and not do like it's done in the past. You look at something, it just sits there and never gets completed. It's a step to go in the right direction.
Well, I think step going in the right direction is not spending $1 million running a golf course.
Well, we're in the business.
Getting it back down to where it's, I think we're doing a good job on the golf course. We need some kind of estimate on what's going to heat and cool it electric-wise. What's your future? Not just throw out something over there and then we got to go on with it.
The future is, I think you get this area going correctly, it'll increase the golf course's revenue by about $100,000.
You may be correct, but Duff says there's no way he can put it on paper that it'll make money.
Well,
we need some kind of estimate of something to go by if we go any further.
And that's what I'm hearing. We need to allow Don probably to go out and on both of these, which I know the one we can't go into today, we can on the 28th because it won't be on the 14th. Allow Don to send through payroll, receive bids and quotes and firm it all up on what it would be to perform each project and then come back and evaluate each project.
You're correct, Judge, but what is our goal? Are we gonna do away with the clubhouse one of these days, or what?
I'll reserve a comment on that
We're,
one.
we're turning this pavilion into indoor. We're gonna have 2 heating and cooling buildings. I don't, before we go any further, we need something to, what's the future? Where are you going? You just can't say.
Could this end down here? Could that be someday what y'all at for the clubhouse, or is that too small?
He still needs an area to stage his golf course, his golf tournaments in. This way he can put his boards and stuff over here, which are up here now, and he can still utilize this area when he has a golf tournament. Plus, this area can be utilized for other things, that can be rented out, whatever.
Yeah, we're not in the business to rent it out. I don't think we need to close in that second section. We can extend it for your room, but leave it where you can still use it like you're using the pavilion now, and just air condition that one end.
You're looking at minimal cost here. You can enclose AC and everything for about $34 a foot.
You're looking at electrical expense from now on.
Well, I understand.
Heating and cooling that whole big building.
3-zone system.
I don't agree with it.
Could the
Well, can you get some kind of estimate on what the electric bill will cost?
I think we can probably nail all that down, can't we, Don? If we go out.
That foam is a whole new deal on electric bills. It's like cooling an ice chest.
I agree if it was an ice chest, but these doors are going to be open constantly.
That's because all that business will be coming in there.
Well, yeah. Using
money.
Using them restrooms that we put out there for everybody.
I would like to make a motion today to continue with this job scope we have on the pavilion and let Don go out for bids.
Just to let him receive the bids and firm up what this would be.
Yes, sir.
Expense-wise.
Based on this job scope. For this 235,000.
You don't get tired of investing your time getting all these ideas put together and then nobody approve anything, right?
Exactly.
Let me ask you this. You made the motion. Let me ask you this. And we can't discuss this other one.
But y'all can on the 28th if you want, and you can do the same thing on the 28th.
My question would be, if this motion passed, can we find out about the other option?
Yes.
Yes.
And you would go for that?
Yes.
Yeah. All I want to do is move forward
And compare both of them.
Well, that's what I'm doing. I'm all for upgrading.
Now, I think we're probably going to have to.
But how much?
I think we're probably going to have to get expense from Don's company to do this because, we really can't ask him to do the two for free.
Right.
We need to pay him something for putting together the proposals for both of them, and then we'll see which way we want to go because I don't expect him to do it for free and then not get anything out of it. Would you mind looking over what each gentleman want? And then today we can only approve to go out for the one, but then on the 28th they can approve to allow you to do that one also. And then a later date in April we can bring it all back and compare apples to apples, hopefully, and see what we've got.
Yeah, the only question I got is we need to figure out what y'all want in the kitchen. Because I think that needs to be added so you know the cost.
Right.
Well, sure.
Right. Like a flat top, deep fryers, vent hood, suppression system. Right. Okay. So do you mind sometime before the 28th getting with Dwayne and discussing his, and then just with Larry and looking at his, so you can come up with a price, what it would cost for you to facilitate all that and put it together? All right.
And I know we don't have a second, so I don't want to.
Right. I know. Well, I'm doing a lot of discussion without a second, yeah.
We'll go ahead and second somebody.
I'll second.
I have a second by Wade now.
Okay, so we're just talking about proposed. We're not going to go advertise for bids at this point. We're just getting proposed.
I say no. Now, again,
well, we need to get a price.
Go out for bid.
We need to get a price from Don, what he will charge to put all this together for us, probably before we actually go out for the bids, because until we able to get, am I making any sense here? Until we get everything, he's going to want to know what to bid for, because he needs to meet with Dwayne and go over this 100%, and then meet with Larry and go over his, because we really don't know. So right now, I would say that we would just be asking Don to meet with the commissioners, give us a price to actually facilitate this, put it together. Are you good with that? Because I don't want to change your thought process here. But I just don't want to ask Don to do a whole lot without any money.
It's gonna have to be bid regardless,
Yes, yes.
so he can go ahead and work on
On
it.
yours,
Yes.
and then go out on Larry's at a later time.
Yes.
He could receive bids, that's all he could do, but then
Yes.
again, does he?
There's nothing to stop
They
this
said,
process.
let me, since it's discussion, we don't need to be bidding out two different projects. We need to decide on what project we're gonna do.
That's right here.
Yeah, according to you.
Well, eventually though, Larry, I bet we're going to get bids on yours too, just to be able to compare them.
I think we need to get more details on either one of them than going out for bids.
Well, he can go out for bids on this, and the kitchen, we can get that kitchen thing figured out in about 15 minutes. But it's not gonna change this scope of work here. This is what I made the motion, is to go out for the bid on this scope of work.
Again, what is your, what, you mentioned before a vision. What is your vision if you move more or less everything besides them taking money at the clubhouse? What is your,
Well,
what's after, if you get this, what's after
Well,
that?
as we discussed before, as bad a shape as that clubhouse is, we don't know if it's going to be around 5 years, 10 years. But one of these days it's going to go away. And I don't feel like we need to have another building attached or over there close by that old house. We can set this up. They have a place for people to go, to have refreshments. It finishes off the golf course. I've never seen a golf course. It's been 30 years since I've played, but I've never seen a golf course that hasn't had a clubhouse or someplace to go get something to eat. You're there. If the storms come up, you're out of there. If you get there early, you sit in your car, you sit there and wait. There's no reason to get there early. There's no reason to stay there late. There's no reason to have any camaraderie out there. You drive up, you wait for you to play your golf, you leave. We're missing out on a big opportunity to make more money at that golf course. And I realize we shouldn't be in business. The county should not be in business. But we are in business.
Amen.
And
Okay.
we need to get
All right.
every dollar. Let me finish. We need to get every dollar we can make out that golf course.
Put that
Let
on
me finish.
paper.
Let me
then.
finish. We need to get every dollar we can make at that golf course so that golf course can stand on its own, and we quit putting the taxpayers' money into that golf course. It's got great potential. I don't feel like it's been used to its potential since it's been in existence. There was a time there was $1 million a year put out there. It's close to breaking even. It's close to making money. Let's push it and let's make the money and make it a golf course that everybody wants to come to and they will spend time here after they're playing golf. That's what I'm trying to get.
Larry, I think you want to say something.
The time limit. Put that on paper. Give me some estimates on what you think the expense is going to cost. The reason it's close to breaking even because Kenneth and I was a part of a court to turn the golf course around, not adding expense. Now we can't say we worked hard, but we was a part of it, and we turned it around. And you want to add some expense? Well, put it on paper. What in return you think it? Guess. Give me something other you're going to guess at. And Duff says that he can't give us.
With all due respect, I can put it on paper and make it look like $1 billion. Will it fall through with that? I can't tell you that, but I can make it look as pretty as you want it to look. And I don't think that accomplishes anything. But I can tell you that if you put it there, they will use it and it will make money. It will bring money in out there.
All right, Don, I've got a motion and a second for you to actually just do the bids on the pavilion end of it and firm it up. All right? And then not included in that is an expense for you to make. So we'll have to do that on the 28th meeting as far as like when you put the Larry's together and this together, we compare apples to apples. So
If I may suggest, I know that I'd like to get it all done in one bid, and maybe if we modify the motion to say, to go out, obviously we want to do RFPs, not bidding, but also to do the pavilion project with an option connected to it to do Larry's, so it's an option D of the existing bid. maybe we can, I mean, because
I'd like to get it where we can get Don to get us a price and move forward with all of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's about $400 in advertising costs and everything, because we have to do the big display ad and put together the bid package.
Right.
So it'd be 400 times 2, or we can just do it in one.
Right.
With an option, you know, a bid, you know, for golf course, however we're going to frame it, a renovation or construction or
Upgrade and renovation.
with, you know, here's project A with an option, you know, to do whatever Commissioner Holmes.
Whatever he brings up on the 28th.
There's something else that we need to think about, doing it, moving fast. We might want to wait till budget time. I know we got some money in tax pool, but it's fixing to go away.
I don't agree with that at all.
Jeff, I know I'm taking a long time before we vote on this. Sorry.
All right.
Where are we at on the pump station? Because that right now that's our biggest expense.
Sleeve is done. I'm waiting on the pump station company to get with me to tell me when the install date is planned for.
No reason I ask is because before I would vote to actually spend money on the pavilion area, you know, I'd like to see what we expended on the fence and what our total expenses were on the pump station, and then I know what I've got left to deal with.
Yes, sir.
But I don't mind moving forward and getting bids and putting packages together to look at. Just expending the money would be until I see the final numbers. But that's just my personal vote.
I agree with
I'm
that.
only one vote, so
We need to move forward with this. We
Yes.
started it and now we're stalled.
Yes.
We've got an idea.
So-
if we're going to do it or not.
So, would you want to amend your motion where it would be both projects, where we can go out, advertise one time at $400, and then that way Don can give us a price what he's going to do to put this all together.
Essentially, it'll be the same people looking at both projects. It would be easier to do it one time and then.
Okay, I'm in my motion.
All right.
Well, my estimates are going to be very accurate as far as what the bids are. Also, I mean, as far as discussing those.
All right. So we're in agreement to go out with the total pavilion,
Yes, sir.
kitchen upgrade, renovation.
And a lot of that kitchen equipment we can get off buy board
Right.
through the state contract. If
Okay.
we have an idea of what it is or what you determine,
And-
there's
and-
already, because, I mean, school districts, prisons, I mean, we can all get that commercial equipment already on pre-negotiated prices, that we can even drop it from the bid, because it's,
Buy it direct.
That's fine. because
And the kitchen
it
should be,
the same
yeah, it should be the same for A or B.
project.
Right.
Right.
That kitchen's not going to be a game changer. It's going to be the same either way.
Right. The equipment that you're going to
equipment.
use to cook, ventilate, yeah. All right, we've amended.
Gas, right? Gas.
Electric. We don't have any gas out there, I don't believe.
propane, if anything, you know.
All right, we've amended the motion, Wade. Do you still agree with it?
Yes.
To second it? All right. We have a motion by Dwayne. We have a second by Wade. Sonia, you feel good about what you wrote down?
Don, to receive bids on pavilion for both projects, A and B.
That'll work.
Be something.
Send it. Thank you.
All right. All in favor of said motion, say aye. That's 1, 2, 5 for. How many against? 0. That surprised me. All right. Item number 23, approved budget transfers.
Those were emailed to you. They are all interdepartmental transfers, nothing coming from contingency. They're just some, to make up some shortfalls in certain areas for each department.
Do I have a motion to approve the budget transfers?
I make the motion.
I have a motion by Kenneth. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Larry. Any further questions or discussion? All in favor of said motion? That's 5 for, 0 against. There's the budget transfers. Item number 24, approve remainder of the county bills.
Those were sent to you in 3 emails, a grand total of $365,393.26. In addition, Judge, if you'll read out those payroll reimbursements for meals on the top of that signature sheet.
Yeah, hang on just a second. I'll just pass it down there. Let me get it back and I'll read them out. Okay, which one would you like to be read?
The very ones at the very top.
These. Ellery Jackson, $19 bids and quotes and firm it all, $14.80 through payroll, and Thomas Cochran, $24.98 through payroll.
Thanks, sir.
You bet.
And, just the unusual or non-recurring type of expenses, I think I made mention of it in the email, is we're paying off the bird air repair to the amphitheater. That's the final payment we were holding the insurance proceeds for. And then also we're paying Lowe's for the fence work. That final bill came in at $30,553.19, and that's on this pay approval sheet.
So do I have a motion to pay the remainder of our county bills?
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion by Kenneth. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Larry. Any further questions or discussion? All in favor said motion? I see one happening. 5 for and 0 against. Item number 25, approved treasurer's report. That's the one that circulated before and then also during court.
I'll make a motion we accept the treasurer's report.
I have a motion by Kenneth to accept treasurer's report. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Wade. Any further questions or discussion? All in favor said motion. That's 5 for, 0 against. Item number 26, approve receive monthly reports from other county departments.
I'll make a motion to approve the county monthly reports.
I have a motion by Kenneth. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Larry. Any further questions or discussion? All in favor said motion. That's 5 for, 0 against. If there is no further discussion, Kenneth, I guess
I'll
we're
make a
back.
motion to adjourn this meeting.
I have a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? I have a second by Dwayne. All in favor said motion. That's 5 for and 0 against. Thank you, gentlemen. John, don't miss a damn bit, do you? Not at all.
Enjoy your.
More to come.
Thank you, Kim.
Hey, Sonia, I'm going to have to get this easement agreement